Go to butcherbox.com/weighing in and you will get 2 pounds of ground meat for life with your membership and $10 off on your first box.
My way is for him to not shoot takedowns. My way is for him to do what he did to Tony Ferguson. He punched his way into the clinch, got to the body locks, big lifts, big slams, was able to get to the back, was able to work his way from takedowns from there. That's the way he's got to be. I think in the clinch, he is the better fighter. Just from the knees, the elbows, all of those things together. Justin Gaethje has a tendency to kind of like hang on the head with his body away for the knees to come up the middle. We saw that. I think it was with Dustin Poirier. No, it was with Eddie Alvarez. The knees up the middle were key. The uppercuts were key. I think in those positions, Charles Oliveira is the better fighter in the clinch. Now, in terms of if they get into the clinch, the grappling aspect of it all. Charles Oliveira, all he's got to do is shrug the arm by. Now, easier said than done, everyone. We understand that. I understand that. Okay, but let's just be honest. Justin Gaethje throws big heat. He has dialed it down since making his second run to the title. Since that first, when he first came in against Michael Johnson, Eddie Alvarez, those guys, he used to just be the guy that was the World Series of Fighting champion, that came forward, big punches, did crazy stuff. I think he understands what's at stake now with Ali managing all these champions and him not getting a piece of that pie. He knows how much money that there is to make in this process. So why keep fighting stupid? Okay, even though it's entertaining, are you not entertained? Yes, we are very entertained. But look, he's a stud. We've always said he's a stud. He fights recklessly and careless, but I think Charles can take advantage of that if he does go back to that a little bit. If he has to dig deep and start just biting down on the mouthpiece and throwing, Charles will be able to make it easier for himself to get to the hips, shrug the arm by, get to the back, jump to the back, or get to the back, or get a takedown from that position. Charles is a tall guy. So the lifts and the slams will be there if he can get to the side control or like from the back against the fence, any of that stuff. All he's got to do is lift and take him down. If he lifts and takes him down, you got to remember, and I know this a long time ago. Remember Luis Firmino, Buscape? Yeah, he was able to take him down
multiple times.
Look, he's got good wrestling, but I said it with Khabib, and I'm going to say it again.
It changes when you're throwing.
It changes when you're throwing. It also changes as you start to get a little bit tired. He also is very comfortable with giving up certain positions. Okay, you can get to my side. People have gotten to his back before and standing. They just don't have the grappling that Charles has. And Charles gets on your back. He is a stud. He's a finisher. He's someone that will transition from one to the next.
Yeah, he doesn't just go for the neck.
Yeah, he doesn't just go for the neck. He'll go back. He'll go arm. He'll go maybe even knee bar if you stand up. He'll do all different types of stuff. And he'll sometimes, majority of the time, end up on top. That's how Charles Oliveira is going to have to get this thing done. Standing in that danger zone, though, is how not to get it done against Justin Gaethje. And that's the only concern.
If you're going to talk about what's Justin Gaethje's route to victory here, distance control. Distance control is everything for Justin Gaethje in this, because I do agree with you. The clinch can be a problem for him because it takes one slip, one little mistake, and now you've got a guy that is a frickin' python on your back, and you're fighting for your life. You're defending, and it just becomes this bad, evil spiral that keeps on coming at you. So distance control for Justin Gaethje. Make Charles Oliveira pay in that at least boxing zone. He can box with him, no problem. His kicks are very quick. They're short. He can still throw his kicks to the legs inside. He can upset his balance. And if there's one thing that Charles does, Charles brings his hands up very high for his defense in a lot of it, but he can be split down the middle. And Justin Gaethje's got a beautiful right uppercut, left hook that he throws. And when he throws that, it's got bad intentions on it, and Charles has a tendency, when he sees something, to start dipping his head down. That uppercut will raise his head up, and that hook will put him to sleep. So what I see for Justin Gaethje is, first off, don't go and try to knock his head off. What you want to do is I want you to just start putting dents in him. Just keep on touching him. Make him start to slow down his ability to defend. Keep that distance control. Don't come into the clinch situations. Obviously, stay away from putting your back against the cage. If you put your back against the cage, it's going to be bad. Try to put him on his back foot, which is not going to be easy now because Charles Oliveira is very good at least holding his ground. He will try to come forward, but he will at least hold his ground. So let him hold his ground. You hold your ground and keep that distance control and just start piecing him up in this fight, and you will become the champion.
He's got to. I think Justin's got to minimize how many kicks he throws, because they can be caught pretty easily. The other thing as well that Charles does well is he lifts his leg a lot, and that lead leg to avoid the calf kick and also to avoid the leg kicks, because he understands if he gets pushed over or knocked down or he loses his balance, come on down, buddy. Yeah. I'm here waiting for you. And that's going to be that's obviously not going to happen. Like if he loses his balance or if he throws
not
head
unless
kicks,
Justin loses his mind.
Yeah. That was good. Yeah, it's true. Like I don't understand. Not that I don't understand. I don't see a world where Justin should be throwing the leg kicks a whole lot, especially early in the fight. As the fight goes on and the timing starts to lose, like timing starts to go away, I think maybe you start to avoid, you start to throw the leg kicks a little bit more. And then in terms of the body punching, I think he might have some opportunities there. He just got to make sure he doesn't hang his head too much to get put into that front headlock, or he doesn't dip so much to where it's easy for him to kind of shuck him down and try to get to that front headlock, of course. Because anytime you dig to the body, your head drops, about waist level or maybe mid chest level. It makes it easier for them to get to that front headlock. Now, I do agree with you 100% that the way that Justin wins this fight is by distance control. He's got to make sure he keeps his back off the fence. He's got to make sure that he's not fighting him in a phone booth. He's got to make sure that he's staying long with his striking, and he's kind of pushing him around. So even though he's pushing him around, he's not closing that distance.
Yeah.
He can't afford for Charles to be taking the center of the cage and waiting for him to come to him. And then as he comes in, he's going to have to overcommit to land the striking, and easier for Charles to get in on the body lock, easy for Charles if Charles does shoot, for him to get in on a double leg. Any of those things can happen. It really comes down to Charles is so good on the ground, John, that not a lot of people understand how to deal with him, because you have to remember it takes away some of the kicks. It takes away some of the way you fight in terms of in the clinch. Like Justin's real good at grabbing the head and clinching it, and uppercuts and knees and all of those things. He's a dog in those areas.
Yep.
Well, he's got to be cautious doing that against Charles, because Charles in the grappling, he could just jump guard, and I've seen him do it before. He's just jumped to guard. And if he pulls him down, there's all sorts of weapons that he has from that bottom position. Justin's got good heavy hands. He's got some good ground and pound. But let's be honest. If I'm going to take Justin's ground and pound or Charles Oliveira's grappling, I'm going to take his grappling. I'm going to take Charles Oliveira's grappling.
I mean, you have to, and you're exactly right. He does need to be careful of where he puts his head. But I do believe that in this, when you talk about Justin is very good at forcing his opponent in the direction that he wants them to go.
Yep.
You saw that, and this is where Michael Chandler had problems, and you look and you go, it's because he was not in control. He was the guy, he's coming forward at times, and you would see Justin step off and off-center Mike, and he would force Mike to come back to that center, and as soon as Mike came, boom, here it came, because he's forcing him in the direction he wants him to go. He's really good at that. And so Charles needs to be careful of those situations, because he can get caught coming into a heavy shot. It's a great matchup, and both guys can win, and that's why you love this kind of fight. And, obviously the ground belongs to Oliveira. If you're going to say who's got the advantage in the stand-up, it has to be Gaethje. Although Oliveira's stand-up is good. He's technically very good, but you got to give it to Gaethje. He's the dog in this. He will take shots to give shots, and Charles has to avoid that situation. Charles has come a long ways in that he's a different fighter now. He will take shots, but he can only take so many, and he's been put down multiple. He got put down by Chandler. He got put down by Poirier. Now he came back. Can't say anything, tough as hell, but he did get put down, and you can only take so many of those before it's the one that's going to put you down that you can't recover from. So, great matchup.
Go to butcherbox.com/weighing-in and get 2 pounds of ground beef free for life and $10 off your first box.
100% agree. Okay.